Guys, I think one of the main lessons in life that I've learned is that what people say does not matter. What people do is the only thing that matters. I don't care about your words. I want to see your actions. And that is how I feel about Jack Dorsey coming out and apologizing and admitting that Twitter was wrong for censoring the Hunter Biden story. But before we get into that, my name is Greg Foreman, and you're watching A Black Conservative Perspective. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share A Black Conservative Perspective, aka a leftist worst nightmare. You can also follow me on Twitter at GForemanBCP. Let's get it. All right, guys. So take a look at Big Tech is having another hearing where it's just Facebook and Twitter this time at the Senate. And they're discussing censorship and what's going on with the election. And Jack Dorsey comes out and issues a formal apology and admits that he was wrong about censoring the Hunter Biden story. Take a look.
Thank you to the members of the Judiciary Committee for the opportunity to speak with the American people about Twitter and your concerns around censorship and suppression of a specific news article, and generally what we saw in the 2020 US elections conversation. We were called here today because of an enforcement decision we made against the New York Post based on a policy we created in 2018 to prevent Twitter from being used to spread hacked materials. This resulted in us blocking people from sharing a New York Post article publicly or privately. We made a quick interpretation using no other evidence that the materials in the article were obtained through hacking, and according to our policy, we blocked them from being spread. Upon further consideration, we admitted this action was wrong and corrected it within 24 hours. We informed the New York Post of our error and policy update and how to unlock their account by deleting the original violating tweet, which freed them to tweet the exact same content and news article again. They chose not to, instead insisting we reverse our enforcement action. We did not have a practice around retroactively overturning prior enforcements. This incident demonstrated that we needed one, and so we created one we believe is fair and appropriate. I hope this illustrates the rationale behind our actions and demonstrates our ability to take feedback, admit mistakes, and make changes, all transparently to the public. We acknowledge there are still concerns around how we moderate content, and specifically our use of Section 230. 3 weeks ago, we proposed 3 solutions to address the concerns raised, and they all focus on services that decide to moderate or remove content. It could be expansions to Section 230, new legislative frameworks, or a commitment to industry-wide self-regulation best practices, requiring 1, moderation process and practices to be published, 2, a straightforward process to appeal decisions, and 3, best efforts around algorithmic choice are suggestions to address the concerns we all have going forward. And they're all achievable in short order. It's critical as we consider these solutions, we optimize for new startups and independent developers. Doing so ensures a level playing field that increases the probability of competing ideas to help solve problems going forward. We mustn't entrench the largest companies any further. Finally, before I close, I wanted to share some reflections on what we saw during the US presidential election. We focused on addressing attempts to undermine civic integrity, providing informative context, and product changes to encourage greater conversation. We updated our civic integrity policy to address misleading or disputed information that undermines confidence in the election, causes voter intimidation or suppression or confusion about how to vote, or misrepresents affiliation or election outcomes. More than a year ago, the public asked us to offer additional context to help make potentially misleading information more apparent. We did exactly that, applying labels to over 300,000 tweets from October 27th to November 11th, which represented about 2.2% of all US election-related tweets. We also changed how our product works in order to help increase context and encourage more thoughtful consideration before tweets are shared broadly. We're continuing to assess the impact of these product changes to inform our long-term roadmap. Well, thank you for the time. I look forward to a productive discussion focused on solutions.
Apology not accepted, Jack. I don't accept your apology. I don't know about you guys, but this is not enough, right? Because one, you had to make people delete the actual tweet, okay, before they could get back into their accounts. So you admitted that you were wrong for censoring, but then you try to say, well, the people that we punish for tweeting this article, they got to go back and delete the article that we admitted that we was wrong for censoring first before they can actually get into their account. So you punish them for no reason, and then you make them jump through hoops to try to get access back to their accounts. When if you truly felt that you were wrong, you need to do whatever you can to right that wrong in a way in which the people who were unjustly punished for tweeting that article don't have to do anything to get their accounts back. I don't care what it takes. If you're truly sorry, that's what you would do. And the second reason why I don't accept his apology is because the damage is already done. The damage is done. You've got what you wanted. You censored the story. Most people on the left and average everyday Americans have no idea about the Hunter Biden story. They don't know anything about it. They don't know anything about Joe Biden and Ukraine and none of that. They don't know any of it. Because Mark Zuckerberg at Facebook and Jack Dorsey at Twitter, along with the mainstream media, have successfully kept this story away from people. A story that they claim is Russian disinformation. You know, and that's what really mind boggles me about these media outlets and these social media folks, is that they claim there's so much false information and disinformation and misleading information on the right. If all of it is so wrong, then why do you have to censor false stuff? Why do you got to censor it for? If it's wrong, then on its face, it will not stand up. Right? I mean, and it goes into the election. Right now, what's currently going on with the legal battles and in court with President Trump and his campaign team trying to overturn this election. If President Trump says there's election fraud and there's rigging, then they got to prove it in court. And if they prove it in court and they protect the integrity of the elections, then why would anybody be mad about it? But if they're wrong and it doesn't work out, then it don't work out. And that's it. And you can see, okay, well, there was nothing to this. And there's no reason for the media to overstep their boundaries while the election is currently being contested. Just let it play out. We'll see what happens. The court system will decide. There's nothing wrong with that position. They literally censor almost, 70 to 80% of President Trump's tweets, where they say that this claim is wrong and that, they either give some type of a disclaimer or, they just flat out just delete the tweet sometimes, where they just say it's a violation of Twitter policies, up and down. And it has 100% to do with everything having to do with what the president is saying and information that comes from conservatives that challenges anything that goes against the mainstream. And how we know is because we got people tested out. I mean, for example, you have people at the Daily Wire who have tweeted out that Stacey Abrams won the election and that she thinks that it was rigged by the governor, which she did. And she did go a long time telling people that she won that election and that it was rigged. And that the governor, Brian Kemp, who's then the secretary for the state, was suppressing voters with no evidence at all. The media held her up as some type of hero, some type of champion of justice and voter integrity, when she questioned the election and didn't accept defeat with no evidence at all. And this is the type of hypocrisy from the left that I think just really makes us who are really paying attention to both sides of this really kind of look at this like, you know what, yeah, the conservatives got a point. The media is unfairly covering the right. They're holding the right to a much higher standard than they hold people on the left. You cannot say that you're sorry about censoring the Hunter Biden article and then turn around and continue to censor the president of the United States and to let left-wing misinformation get by unscathed and think that people are just going to accept it. No, we're not accepting it. People are moving to Parler for that very reason. Because what you say means nothing. And you want to talk about all talk and no action. I mean, these Senate Republicans, why do y'all keep calling these hearings if y'all not going to do anything? If nothing's going to come out of it, why you keep doing it? Then, like I said, you talking about all talk, no action. When are you guys going to do something? Because at this point, it seems to me it's just theater. You're just grandstanding, talking big words, talking tough. But again, there's no fines. There's no legislation. There's no nothing. There's nothing coming out of this. And I really don't understand why, because people like Ted Cruz and Lindsey Graham, y'all got the most to lose. Republicans have the most to lose because all of it is going against conservative and right-wing perspectives. So you should do something at this point. You need to do more than just talking. To me, man, at this point, it just seemed like a lot of what's going on when it comes to this big tech stuff and censorship and Congress and these politicians, man, it's just all talk, man. They're not doing anything but talking. Twitter's not serious about reining in their censorship, and the politicians aren't serious about actually trying to punish them for it and actually take care of it. It looks like, alternative platforms like Rumble and Parler, they're going to get a lot more traction because of this. And there's going to be more competition into the marketplace. And hopefully, in this case, the free market does its job and punishes these people for this type of behavior. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.